Hi, it's time for our reading mini lesson. This week in reading, students will create mental images to deepen understanding of poems. So our reading and writing links again, we're looking at poetry. But now with the poetry, I want you to continue deepening your thinking with answering some comprehension questions. So I'm going to share with you one that we're going to do together. So it is called Where Do I Find Poetry? All right, read it with me. I open my eyes and what do I see? Poetry spinning all around me. In small ants trailing over the ground, bulldozing dry earth into cave and mound. In 100 grains of ocean sand that I cradle in the palm of my hand, in a lullaby of April rain, tapping softly on my window pane, in trees dancing on a windy day, when sky is wrinkled and elephant gray. Poetry can be found in, out, and all around. But take a look inside your heart. That's where a poem truly likes to start. So we're going to kind of break this poem up a little bit, and we're going to talk about what I see or think when I'm reading the poem. And this poem is by Georgia Hurd. So Georgia wrote this poem for us. As I open my eyes, and what do I see? Poetry spinning all around me. So that means there's poetry everywhere. Everywhere Georgia looks, she finds poetry. The question, before we go over each part, the first question I'm going to answer is, how does the person who wrote the poem, Georgia, how does Georgia feel about poetry? So I kind of just answered that question. How she feels about poetry is she sees it everywhere. Ants in the backyard trailing over the ground, bulldozing dry earth into cave and mound. So ants build an ant hill, right? She sees that as poetry. In 100 grains of ocean sand, when I go to the beach, I just see sand. But she sees 100 grains of ocean sand that I cradle in the palm of my hand. In a lullaby of April rain, tapping softly on my window pane. Another question is, what is a lullaby? Define a lullaby. Let's use our context clues for that and our schema. In a lullaby of April rain, tapping softly on my window pane. So she's using the sound of rain as poetry. It's music to her ears. The word lullaby, when I think of lullaby, I think of like baby lullabies. Evan, when he goes to sleep, he likes to listen to Disney lullabies. So it's music in a lullaby of April rain. So rain to Georgia is music. In trees dancing on a windy day, when sky is wrinkled in elephant gray. So here, it's like a stormy day. The trees really dance? Do they get up and dance? No, but they sway, so it looks like they're moving and dancing. The sky is wrinkled. Does the sky really get wrinkled like our clothes get wrinkled? No, but it can have that effect. It looks like it, an elephant gray. Poetry can be found in, out, and all around. So where I go out in my backyard and see ants, I don't see poetry. But Georgia sees poetry in the ant beds, the caves, and their mounds. So Georgia sees poetry all around. It says, but take a look inside your heart. That's where a poem truly likes to start. Last week you did your heart map for writing. Those are things that you could write poems about, things that have meaning to you. The next question, what does it mean to look inside your heart? What does that mean? She says, take a look inside your heart. Does that mean literally look inside of your heart? No, we can't do that. That's just silly. It means, think about your heart map, for instance. It means to think about the things, take a look about the things that are closest to you, that have a lot of meaning to you. Those things are things that you hold close to your heart. Take a look inside your heart, those things that have meaning to you. So I read, where do I find poetry, and answered a couple of comprehension questions that really deepened my thinking about this poem. So now what you are going to do, you have a link for the poem written by Miss Tovar called Toothless. So I'm going to read it first for you, and then you can read it again. You can print it out, or you can, I'm going to zoom in just like that, read it from your screen. And then I'm going to show you the questions that you are going to answer. Toothless by Mrs. Tovar. Goodness, goodness, how's this so? Where did my front teeth go? I thought I'd been so careful, brushing morning and at night, to wake up and look in the mirror and see this hopeless sight. When will they come back again? Oh, how long must I wait to fill this emptiness I see? Please tell me it's not too late. In the meantime, I'll be hopeful, dreaming of the day when I wake up with a mouthful and shout, hip, hip, hooray. I promise when they come back, I'll do my very best to not let this happen again. I don't like being toothless. So that's just a cute poem. I want to teach you one thing real quick. So there are some suffixes in this poem. Two of them I want to point out. Suffix less, L-E-S-S, like in toothless, and suffix full. Those two suffixes are actually antonyms. They mean the opposite. Suffix less means without. Remember? Suffix full means full of. So one of the questions you're answering, that's going to help you with. So let's read it one more time. Read it with me this time. Goodness, goodness, how's this so? Where did my front teeth go? I thought I'd been so careful, brushing morning and at night, to wake up and look in the mirror and see this hopeless sight. When will they come back again? Oh, how long must I wait to fill this emptiness I see? Please tell me it's not too late. In the meantime, I'll be hopeful, dreaming of the day when I wake up with a mouthful and shout, hip, hip, hooray. I promise when they come back, I'll do my very best to not let this happen again. I don't like being toothless. So now what you're going to do, there are 3 questions. These are going to help deepen your thinking and comprehension, understanding of this poem. So you really got to use your brain. So questions about toothless. You're going to write your name, and then it says answer the following questions in complete sentences. Number 1, how does the person who, with Miss Tovar, who wrote the poem, feel about being toothless? How do they feel about being toothless? And then how can you tell? So you would say, The person feels blank about being toothless. I can tell because, answer that question. Number 2, what does the word toothless mean? Complete sentence. Toothless means blank. Number 3, do you think the person who wrote the poem can really keep their promise to not let it happen again? Remember in the passage it said, or in the poem it says, I promise when they come back, I'll do my very best to not let this happen again. I don't like being toothless. So she's promising to do something, to not let it happen again. To not let what happen again? To not let her teeth fall out. Is that a promise that she can keep? Think about right now what's happening with your teeth in first grade, what's going to keep happening to them when you go into second grade. Can she keep that promise not to let it happen again? You will write either yes or no. And then you're going to tell me why. So you'll say, she cannot keep her promise because, or you can say, she can keep her promise because, but I want you to think about it. Think about your teeth. Can you promise not to lose any more teeth right now? That should help you answer that. All right, what I want you to do, if you need to pause it right now so you can read the poem again, the poem, go ahead and do that. You're gonna read it and then answer the questions in complete sentences. All right, happy reading, guys. See you next time.